Starting with the video footage from the main cameras, we immediately notice how good these phones are at stabilizing the video. Both phones have optical and electronic image stabilization working together in 4K and 1080p, making the image smooth and stable like the videos were shot using a gimbal. Where things go south for the Oneplus is in 1080p, where we notice some weird artifacts and jittery images. Details, colors and exposure are very similar between the two phones. As for the front cameras, Pixel gives the more natural looking video. Oneplus goes too far with over-sharpening my husband's face, producing noise and artifacts. The field of view is also wider on the Pixel. Moving on to the photo samples, in this first set, pictures look as if they were taken with the same phone. Maybe the Oneplus has a slighter brighter exposure, but details and colors are identical. Moving on to the second photo, the differences are much more noticeable in detail. The higher megapixel count on the Oneplus flexes its muscles. Pixel 2 photo picks up nowhere near as much detail. Dynamic range and colors are again pretty much identical. Third set of the comparison, and again very similar photos, but this time the Pixel 1 looks slightly more overprocessed with an HDR look to it. Some people might prefer the Oneplus picture, some the Pixel 1, but I myself prefer the former as it looks more natural, and the very same can be said about the next photo. Oneplus was doing a great job until now, having photos at least as good as the Pixel, but here it messed up big time. The white flower and the green leaves exhibit the same high level of detail, but what the hell happened to the red flower? All details have been lost in the Oneplus photo. The flower looks as if it was oil painted by some lousy artist. And here is the portrait mode for the both phones. As much as my husband begged me not to go full retarded mode, I just can't help myself sometimes. But talking about the two photos, Oneplus is too soft here, missing details and sharpness. Dynamic range is also better on the Pixel. Oneplus 6 blows the highlights in the background. Edge detection is good on both phones, but it can be improved, as both blur some portions of my hair. All in all, Pixel does a better job with its portrait mode implementation. The next 7 sets of photos are pretty similar between the two phones, having comparable levels of detail and sharpness, same level of dynamic range, with only minor differences in color. What sets them apart is the exposure values for each shot. Pixel 2 camera always using lower ISO and faster shutter speed. What this usually means is that the Pixel phone is better at freezing moving subjects like kids or pets running. So if you do lots of sport photographing, Pixel 2 is the best phone for you.
This is a Chucky Beat production.
Look at the two pictures here. Even if the OnePlus 6 delivers a more natural looking photo, I like the Pixel 2 photo better. First of all, it has better fine detail retention that can be observed on the statue. Second, the colors are slightly warmer, making the entire picture more pleasing to the eye. What I love is how the sun lights up the clouds in a yellowish tint, and this is not apparent in the OnePlus 6 photo. I left this photo at the end to underline how similar these two cameras are, delivering photos that usually exhibit the same level of detail, dynamic range and natural colors. Sure, there are sometimes differences in how they resolve fine details or how they interpret colors, but these differences are not that often apparent when viewing the picture on the phone's display. Throughout the test, there were some instances when OnePlus messed things up, like in the red flower shot or the portrait mode shot. But these shortcomings can be fixed with a software update if OnePlus deems it necessary. And for the last picture of the test, as usual, we have a selfie portrait. My husband is much more serious than I am. Sometimes I even wonder if he smiles in a photo. Anyway, OnePlus chooses to slightly overexpose the shot, losing some of the detail in the highlights. Pixel has a better dynamic range overall. Edge detection can be improved on both phones. But as it is now, it does a pretty fine job. Zooming in, OnePlus gives us the impression that it captures more details, but I think that is thanks to some applied oversharpening. Pixel looks more flat and natural, but all in all, both phones have very good front cameras, easily placing them on the top 5 selfie shooters out there. Okay guys, that was the comparison for today. We hope you liked it, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so we can notify you when we'll have another video for you. Until then, this is your female Pixar people, Ingrid, signing out. Au revoir!